Good offensive game. Obviously, both teams played pretty well offensively. I think at the end of the day, their guys did a nice job. Congrats to Butler on finishing the game there. Telford was critical down the stretch with his playmaking and his finishing, so he's a really good player. But our guys, I thought, played as smart when we've been down as we've played all year. I mean, down 16 in the first half to respond like we did and make it certainly a game there for the second half was just a phenomenal, really smart play overall by our guys. But we need to be better at stopping people. You know, their big guy hurt us, which we were concerned about, and their wings hurt us. All right, questions?
Chris, as you guys go down 16, Butler pretty much couldn't miss for that first stretch. What's kind of the message in the huddle? Because you think those percentages are going to regress to the mean a little bit, but what's your message to the team there?
Yeah, it was a little bit that. You know, we've seen them do that in some games where they've gotten really hot. They're a really good offensive team. They're one of the better offensive teams in our league, and they're playing right now offensively as good as they played all year. You know, their stretch where they were – you know, they had that really brutal stretch right after Christmas where they had a really tough schedule and then it led right into Big East play, and they just weren't playing as well offensively. And right now they're shooting it as well as they've shot it all year. So it's a little bit what you said is there's been some ebbs and flows to their game, but they needed to feel us more, Nick, and, you know, we needed to challenge a little bit better. They were also making, for example, 12 has shot 25% from three on the year. You know, he makes 2 off the dribble in that stretch. So, you know, you're telling your guys, hey, this is personnel. You know, sometimes you have nights where guys, you know, 12's going to make 2 off the dribble. He hadn't done that necessarily all year. I believe it's 12. But he got it rolling there in the first half. And then when we got it close in the second half, he missed a critical one in the corner. But we needed to challenge better. We did that, and then we thought, you know, they would eventually miss a couple.
And then what'd you think of JJ? He had 11 rebounds tonight. He seemed to have a little bit more of an aggressiveness on the glass tonight.
I thought minus the first 5 minutes of the game, he was really good. He was really good. I wouldn't say he was good to start the game. Because he just wasn't. He wasn't near as physical or as detailed as he needed to be by any stretch. But after that, I thought he was, to your point, he was really good. And we needed it, obviously, with our lack of bodies there. With, you know, our concern going into this game was their size without Skogman and NJ, and their wing size. Those were our 2 concerns.
Chris, you went to the 1-3-1 a little bit in the second half. What was kind of the thought process behind switching to that zone? You haven't really used it much this season.
Yeah, we've used it quite a bit against certain teams. They're one of the best shooting teams in the league. That stretch, they had 3 of their 4 best shooters on the bench. So that was the rationale behind going to zone in that period.
Coach, in the second half, when you guys started to make your run, Coach Mata said you kind of forced them to play selfishly. Did you notice kind of a change in their offense, and what were you able to do to kind of get back in the game?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to, you know, he knows his team obviously so much better than I know him. You know, I think probably they took a couple uncharacteristic shots. Maybe he was saying that. Our physicality might have forced them. We just weren't able to do that for long stretches of the game. And then their isolation with Telford late that they run against everybody is a real problem because of their shooting, because of how good of a passer he is. And we guarded it 2 different ways, and they got an and 1, a score, and a 3. So that was really the difference in the game in the last 4 minutes.
And when Telford gets the ball kind of at the nail and the high post, just with his strength, how hard is it to keep him out of the paint? And then you said with his passing as well, just when everything kind of revolves around someone with his skill set, just how difficult it is to stop him?
Yeah, it's really hard, you know, because they got screen inside, so you have to be aware of him at the basket, 7-1 at the basket. And, you know, one of the things that and Dwayne and I have talked about this, one of the things we've really felt like is we just need to get bigger at the wing, because this league has so many really talented big wings. We need to get bigger and more physical at the wing than what we are this year. So, but they do a good job getting the switch. Again, we played it 2 different ways. We practiced playing it 2 different ways, and they executed it well. It's just a simple NBA isolation, and they're going to spread you out if they're making shot. I mean, guys used to do it. They do it for the best player in the NBA for years. It's a hard thing to guard.
Coach, obviously Butler did close the game pretty strong, but you guys were able to get into it in the middle of the second half. So how do you hope to carry some of that momentum onto the 2-game road that you guys have now?
Yeah, I like I said, it's a good question. I just told the team I thought that can be really difficult when they're making shots at the level they're making at. Like Nick was saying, it can be really difficult. So you're asking what can we control, and what do we need to do better? And again, that stretch down 16 was as good a stretch as we played all year in terms of not, taking quality shots, attacking the rim, playing with force offensively and defensively. My only issue with that last 15 minutes of the first half is we settled for too many threes in the last 3 minutes. That was my only issue. Other than that, they were good, but we settled for way too many threes in the last 3 minutes.
And then, Chris, you hope to have a further update on NJ. He's been the last couple of days. He's been doing like some left-handed stuff and shoot around. Do you have an update there?
Yeah, no. I wish I knew more on NJ right now. I keep saying we're going to know more, and right now we don't know more other than he's not able to do any contact in any practice, and I'm not sure that will change for the next day or two.
Okay, and then with the news of the facility, the new practice facility being delayed a year, how does that affect recruiting in the short term?
Yeah, good question. We've the exciting thing is we're really optimistic about it getting moving forward, and beyond that, the renovations that were done within the last year, we certainly want a practice facility, but the renovations that Dwayne and the staff and Rob have done have really completely changed the practice facility for us. It's nice. Now, do we want our own place? And certainly, but that kind of gives us the flexibility if we need to wait another year. It sounds like we do. To be able to do that and still have a really good place for our guys to grow and develop and get better in the off season, which is the value of a practice facility, is that off season development.
And then with 3 Big East games left, what specifically do you want to see out of your team in year one to close out the year?
Just growth, given how different our lineup has had to be in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We need more guys to emerge. I think growth, number one, and I think continued improvement on the defensive end. I mean, I thought offensively we were relatively clean outside of I did think we took too many quick threes, but I thought we had a really good clean game with 4 turnovers and 15 assists. That was really good, but better effort defensively.
And then back to NJ, since he's not cleared for contact, are you expecting him to be back in the regular season, or is the next realistic timeline the Big East tournament?
I'm optimistic that we'll see him before the season finishes, but I don't have a word on it yet.
Coach, obviously at halftime, Dave Corzine's jersey was retired. I know he's kind of been close to the program throughout the year. What's it like having him back today, and did he say anything to the team?
It's great. He's around the team a lot, and so he's kind of a consistent presence. He's got a phenomenal resume. It was great for Dave. Congratulations to Dave and his family. I mean, he's got a phenomenal resume. I was really glad that we did that and excited for him. And it's great having former players back. But when they're honored like that, it's a great moment for them and their families. Has
he kind of said anything to the team throughout the year, even if not today?
Yeah, no, he's talked to the team, a couple different times, or just been around it, and as most of our former players, I always ask them if they want to talk when they come around. So those guys have great wisdom. All right, guys.
Layden, 25 points, but you were 4 of 6 from 3, not something you're more of an interior scorer than a perimeter scorer. Can you talk about what was working so well from you from 3 tonight?
Really just my confidence. I mean, I've been having some shooting slumps this year, but, I mean, before the season, I was shooting pretty good, so I just got to get back into that rhythm and that confidence that I had preseason. So, I mean, just making the right reads, being confident, just shooting my shot.
And then Isaiah, is one of the older guys on this team. How can you kind of, pick up your teammates when you kind of get it close, but then allow, like, you have a shooting drought and then you kind of allow the other team to get on an extended run?
Shoot, really all us other guys just trying to stay positive and lead vocally and by example.
Guys, when Coach called that timeout in the middle of the first half with you guys down 16, what was he kind of saying to you guys that got you guys back in the game towards the end of the first half?
We need to contest better and really just get paint touches. We were settling a lot for threes, so we just needed to contest better. They was making a lot of threes, we had to make them play in the paint.
Any other questions for the players? All right, then. Thank you.
Thank you.